Hi, everyone. It's Mary, the host of your 90 Day in 900 Seconds podcast. And I'm here with season 5, episode 13. There is no fear in love, which should be titled Have Lots of Fear. Because I don't know about you, but I have lots of fear for these couples. So let's jump right in. Memphis and Hamza. So basically, their segment this week, you could divide it into 3 steps. The first step was Hayat wanted to go meet with Memphis and the translator because she wanted to get some things off her chest and she wanted to clarify some things. So, first, we start off with this wonderful breakfast scene. I mean, the breakfast spread, those pastries, the yogurt, everything but the hard boiled egg. I personally hate hard boiled eggs, but that breakfast spread, I could dig it. I could dig into it. So Hamza tells Memphis that his mom wants to meet with the translator so they can talk. Memphis immediately gets nervous because she knows that mom is old fashioned and it's not crazy that they had sexy time before marriage and about her prior relationship. She's been divorced before, whatever. So they get to the cafe. Hamadi, the translator, is there. And I know we all miss Adam, the translator, but Hamadi's doing a good job. He translates from his soul, people, and his facial expressions are fucking priceless. So, first, Hayat wants to know about Memphis's ex because she's nervous that, what his role is going to be and how it might affect Hamza because she's nervous that he may not be crazy that Hamza's raising his children and that there might be some conflict with the ex and Hamza. So Memphis reassures her that her ex is happy for her and that as long as Hamza treats the children well, there'll be no issue. So then Hayat wants to know about Memphis's past issues because Hamza's only told her bits and pieces, so she wants to hear it from Memphis. So Memphis tells her about the homelessness, the trauma that she's had as a child, etc. And this is when she didn't get the reaction that she quite wanted. Instead of Hayat took it as, well, how is your prior trauma going to affect your relationship with Hamza currently and in the future? And she was really concerned that her prior trauma could boil over into her current relationship and cause problems, which as a mom, I understand where she's coming from. So Memphis immediately got pissed off and she says, "You're really kind of getting to me. Let me explain to you. I brought myself up from nothing. I am a CNA. I, um, take care of myself, and I would never bring Hamza over to the States for him to get hurt." And this is when Memphis starts to cry. And I think at that moment, Hayat realized that, Memphis really does love her son. And like she said, my son loves you very much. And they have a wonderful family moment. They hug, they walk out holding each other. I thought that was wonderful. But we know that's not going to last for long because if Memphis is anything, she's a fucking buzzkill. More on that in a bit. So the second step to their segment this week was wedding dress shopping. And I absolutely love this segment. This is like another old school 90-day fiance scene, kind of like Jasmine and Gino dancing last week. She goes in, she tries the outfits. Her mom is on FaceTime. Hayat and Rawa are there. And the first one, I loved the green dress, but her mom didn't like the color. The second one, I agree. She looked like a stiff Russian doll, but, they all had a nice laugh. And the third one was the charm. So she bought the third outfit. Everybody was happy. She felt so close to the family. She finally felt like that she may start to be part of the family, that they're accepting her and everything. But Memphis being the buzzkill that she is, step 3, she needs to talk to her attorney about the prenup. And because of time difference and all the drama going on. And I don't know what she was waiting for before she went to Tunisia, but she decides, 2 days before she's going to get married, the day before the pre-celebration, no, 2 days before the pre-celebration, no, whatever the case may be, that she was going to contact an attorney in Michigan to ask him about the prenup. Okay, Memphis, we all know this is not going to work in your favor. So basically, the attorney tells her that she waited too long, that Hamza has the right under Michigan law to have an attorney explain it to him. And her best bet is to put off the wedding, because if she tried to do a post-nuptial agreement, it most likely won't stick in court. What I want to know, people, is what the fuck does she have in assets that she feels like she needs a prenup? Like, I don't understand. She told the attorney she's building a house soon. She's getting a better. She's going to be making more money. But I mean, I don't know. So she goes back to the house and she tells Hamza she's going to spend the night in a hotel without really explaining why. And poor Hamza's sitting there fucking confused, because besides the language barrier, you're not trying to explain anything to him. And so the poor guy has no fucking idea what's going on. And she goes off to the hotel. So, next, Gino and Jasmine. Now, you need to have fear for any couple. I would say have fear for this one, because they're going to eventually fucking kill each other. I mean, Gino is such a tone-deaf dumbass. He's going to get himself killed by Jasmine. And I swear I will help contribute to her defense fund, because he's going to drive her to fucking do it. So, their segment starts with Jasmine wakes up pissed because she basically got another message from a fake Instagram account threatening to release her boobs all over the internet. And this scene with Gino really pissed me the fuck off, because he was just so tone deaf and nonchalant. I wanted to reach through this fucking TV, grab his fucking hat, and stuff it down his throat. I mean, she was just like, I can't even deal. He was just like, oh, she's not going to do that. Don't worry. That's not going to happen. And it's like, what in the living fuck? How do you know what this chick is capable of doing? Which, by the way, people, a little bit of tea if you don't know, she eventually did released those photos all over the internet, sent them to bloggers, and sent them to Jasmine's job, which she did eventually wind up getting fired from. So that whole scene where Gino is talking about, well, maybe you could get another job, and he's not acknowledging her fear that this girl could ruin her life because of his stupidity. I totally get her anger. I mean, he's lucky that she didn't hit him in the head with one of those fucking weights. So that goes, I mean, partially nude photos. Gino, she was fucking naked. I don't give a shit if it was from the waist up, she was naked. And you sent those photos to an ex. You're a fucking creep. And the fact that you just keep your tone deaf attitude about it, I want to stuff your hat down your throat. So anyway, I don't blame Jasmine for having resentment every time she looks at Gino. I wouldn't be able to look at the man if that was me. So I think, a lot of people will say that the next scene she overreacted. And yes, she did overreact, but her overreaction is justified. So the next scene, she is explaining to Gino that she's just heartbroken, and she feels like shit. And his response is, "Do you want to get your eyelashes done?" Like, are you fucking kidding me? She's sitting there explaining to you how she feels like shit. She looks like shit. She's like so like fucked up over what you did, and all you could say is, "Do you want to get your eyelashes done today?" Tone fucking deaf. So she's telling Gino, "Show me with your actions and not with materialistic things. So show me your phone. I want to see your emails." And of course, there was something in the email. He went to Legoland with his ex. Now, I know it was 6 years ago, whatever the fuck it was, but at that moment, it was just one more white lie. And that was the white lie that broke the camel's back. And I don't fucking blame her one bit. I mean, she was up here, like up here, people, up fucking here with Gino and his bullshit and just catching him and the Legoland lie. That was it. And I don't blame her for flipping the fuck out. And, he's like, I forgot. She's like, you're full of shit. You're so organized with your emails. And there was a folder that said travel. And this Legoland email was the first thing in the folder. So, and she has a point. If he keeps lying about these simple things, he's going to lie about major things and they're going to have major, major fucking problems. So he's like, can you remember things from 6 years ago? And Jasmine's like, yes. And that look that she gives him, I love the fucking death stare. Jasmine has perfected the death stare. Love her. If you guys can't tell, I'm a big Jasmine fan. So he storms out like he's a fucking victim. He's like, who's the victim here? Gino? Like, come on. And knowing that what we know now that this girl did release the photos all over the internet and did get Jasmine fired from her job, who the fuck is the real victim here, Gino? Like, come on. Fuck you. I mean, you really pissed me off. But he feels like he doesn't deserve this treatment and he's done. The real victim of this scene was the chair that Gino knocked over. What the fuck was that all about? So moving on to Ben and Mahogany. Do I really have to move on to these two? So basically, Mahogany is getting ready to go for breakfast the next morning. And she tells us about the novel that Ben sent her. 10 fucking pages of back-to-back gaslighting bullshit. I mean, now God is the reason why Mahogany doesn't want him. Like, come on, Ben. Like, what the fuck? And I totally agree with Mahogany not answering any of the texts back because any motherfucker tries to text me like 10 pages of text. Please, I can't even read a paragraph. After like the first 4 lines, you know how like somebody texts you a paragraph? After like the first 4 lines, I lose interest. Fuck 10 pages. Like, come on. So he decided he decided to send her 10 pages instead of just walking 2 rooms down and knocking on the door and having a conversation with her. He pours his heart out in these texts. She thinks it's creepy and weird, and she wants to have a face-to-face with him at breakfast. So she goes and surprise! Mom and Dad are there because they want to make sure that she's okay because they know that Ben is a creep. So they're sitting there and she's like, Mom and Dad, you can't be doing this to me. I'm of legal age. I know what I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. And basically, Ben decided upon himself after sending her 10 pages and a half of a novel that he's not going to show up to breakfast because that's it. Because there should be no fear in love. Hence the title of the episode. Ben, you are full of shit. I still think Mahogany is a paid actress that a TLC producer pulled out of his ass when the Mahogany that catfished you didn't show up to the airport. And I'm tired of this storyline. So basically, he wants to talk to her parents in private. Who the fuck knows what he's going to tell them? And her father is not going to take any trash talking about his baby girl. So we'll see what the fuck happens next week. And honestly, I'm really not interested anymore. So anyway, moving on to another couple that I'm really not interested in anymore. Mike and Jimena. So we leave off in the cafe. And basically, she doesn't want it to be over. She just needs space. She has expenses, people. She can't have her cash cow leaving without paying her expenses. So he's all confused. They kiss and make up. And Nelsie calls back. And, Nelsie's trying to look out for him. But Mikey is so dumb and pussy whipped, he can't figure it out on his own. So Nelsie's basically telling him, listen, dude, this chick don't want you. She's using you for your money. Just go spend the night in a hotel and just take the next flight out and come home. And, Jimena's pissed that she's interfering, and Nelsie is telling her it's abnormal to take his money and to treat him like crap. And Jimena's like, I don't do that, do I? Yeah, you do. So Mike is like, yeah, I do feel like shit. And she's like, so then leave. She is such a cold-hearted bitch. Like, whatever. They fucking deserve each other. Check out our special report on our YouTube about Mike and Jimena's marriage and Mike's racist posts, past racist posts. Check it out. YouTube channel, Kiki and Kibbitz. Anyway, so Nelsie is, telling him that he's being used and he doesn't know what the fuck to do. And then, Jimena's like, you're not a child. Make your own decisions. He's like, okay, I'm going to spend the night with you. Will you sleep with me, please? And she's like, sure, whatever. And just don't stare at me. So we get to the next day, and they snuck out while the kids were sleeping in her bed, and they got busy in the Lightning McQueen kitty bed. Good for you, Mike, because that's where you deserve to get busy, in a Lightning McQueen kitty bed. So she's a tiger, he's an owl, and everything is normal again. Yay. So they go out to this romantic dinner. He's wearing like this shirt that has cameo and bling, and it's like crashing and whatever. So they go out to this fancy place that he's paying for the dinner. And the food looks really good, I give you that. And the drinks look damn good. So he's like, I have no idea what goes on in her head. I wish we could communicate better, blah, 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 blah. So he's like, do you want to talk about wedding plans? She's like, sure. We're going to have just a simple wedding with friends and family, but you're not bringing that gossipy bitch is not invited to our wedding. And he's like, I just asked her to translate. I didn't know she was going to get out of hand. Jimena's like, I don't understand why you get your friends involved in your business like a little bitch. And, lesson learned, this is why you never get friends to translate. You need to get Adam the translator, or if he's not available, Hamadi the translator. So anyway, then she tells him, well, you know something, Mike? I have a newsflash for you. No more sleeping together until we're married, because I'm not kicking my sons out of the bed, not even for you. And he's like, okay, well, maybe when they fall asleep, you could come and sneak in the other bed with me. And he's like, no, we are not sleeping in the same bed until we are married. Which, that means Mike is not getting booty until they got married, which was, check out our special report. Anyway, Mike is starting to think that his friends are right again. And next week, he does his best Paul, as in Paul and Karini impression, running off. But moving on, Kimberly and Usman. Poor Kimberly. She's really pissed off at this latest turn of events. She finally got the D, but she realized that Zara was a relationship that he was having while he was talking to her. And she's just really trying to wrap her mind around this. So she calls her friend Vanessa. Hey, girl, hey. By the way, not copyrighted. Anybody could use it. So Vanessa is basically like, that's fucked up. Like this chick must have meant a lot to him for him to make a whole video about her. I mean, the last person he made a whole video about was his ex-wife. And Kimberly's like, that really hurt when you said that. Really got me right here. Baby girl Lisa, say her 3 times that she might pop up behind you. So anyway, so she's like, I want to meet up with Usman. She texts him. Usman's like, I'm going to be a gentleman, even though I'm upset by her actions, and meet her by the pool. So they meet by the pool, and she's trying to explain to him that she puts a lot of thought into the things that she does for him. Let me see your chain, Usman. He takes off the Soldier Boy chain, and she's like, do you see this? I paid extra to have this custom made, shipped from Taiwan, express, whatever the fuck. and to make sure that you get it on time for your birthday. What did you what effort did you put into this trip? He's like, nothing. I did not force you to come. And she's like, this is exactly what I mean. And she gets up and she's like, you need to start proving something to me, because this is bullshit. I have poured my heart out. I have proved to you over and over. I have put effort, thought into this relationship, the way you talk to me, the way you act, the way you treat me. It's just bullshit, Usman, and I'm not going to have it. And he looks at her and he goes, you're funny. And that triggered Kimberly, reminded her of her ex that always dismissed her feelings and said, oh, you're funny, even though she had concrete proof, lipstick on shirts and phone numbers in pockets, that he was cheating. But no, Kimberly, you're funny. So all those triggered feelings came back and she threw her fucking drink at him. And now he feels highly disrespected because despite his ex-wife being an American woman, him dating American women left and right, he does not understand why we are not 100% submissive like African women are. Like, he can't wrap his mind around this. Dude, you are not dating African women. You're dating American women, okay? And your first wife is baby girl Lisa. Nothing should surprise you. So Kimberly's like, you either come correct with me or I'm gone. Usman, have a safe flight. And Kimberly's like, fuck you, I'm done. So moving on to the final couple that I am personally done with, Ella and Johnny. So, this girl gets under my skin for many, many reasons. And the way that she just started off her scene was like number one reason why she gets under my skin. So Johnny picks up the phone and she's like, so what's up? Did you think yet? Like, give the dude a minute. So he's like, well, I've been thinking about it and we still are in the middle of COVID. So I don't think it's a good idea that I travel to Dubai right now. But let's just postpone it until February. She fucking starts spiraling, flips the fuck out, and she's like, I don't want to wait. I don't give a shit about COVID. I need physical attention. I need attention all the time, 24/7. And because you weren't paying attention, I decided to invite my male friend over for some talking, cuddling, and oops, fucking. So Johnny's like, oh, okay. Now, Johnny should be the one that's pissed off and upset. Don't ask me how the scene turned into Ella being all pissed off and crying and upset and not knowing what to do. And Johnny was consoling her. How the fuck did that happen? I mean, if anybody should be consoling anyone, Johnny should be the one receiving some consoling. Like, he was just told that his girlfriend or whoever the fuck she is to him had cheated on him, and she's fucking having a mental breakdown, and he's consoling her. Okay, I just say that she lives in a fantasy land, and she really gets under my skin. So that's all for my 90 and 900 seconds podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening, watching, and stay tuned for our Love After Lockup podcast and check out all our great interviews on our YouTube channel. Have a good night.